Go for it, because they can bleep it out. They can bleep it out. Go, just do your verse.
My church is watching, bro.
No, but you'll bleep it out, eh?
Major turning point for a lot of Aotearoa hip-hop culture.
It was just so powerful and so real.
Summer in the winter is life coming out of those boys.
This is Johni Sagala and my mate Santan from the Lost Tribe.
Summer in the winter, if you know, you know.
They all were unique and different, and had their own style.
I don't think there has been a better collection of artists as a group in the history of Aotearoa hip-hop ever.
The good thing about Lost Tribe is that they were from all the islands. They represented everywhere.
We were all from different tribes in the Pacific. That's our meaning of Lost Tribe.
Which was a major coup for us at that time.
There's the Rarotongan, Samoan, Tongan, DJ Fingaz from Niue. We're in Auckland. We're lost from our own islands.
Our people back out in the streets and in the neighborhoods were separated in their own little cliques and crews where Samoans wouldn't hang around the Tongans, Tongans wouldn't hang around the Niueans. We're all like had the same backgrounds and upbringings. It brought us closer together.
This is the beauty about Lost Tribe. When we come together, talofa lava, whakalova lahi atu. Powerful words, man, maloi lelei, And you got Nissan Bulavinaka, and so these things, these are real deep concepts that we carry with us.
Got the United Nations up in there.
The Pacific nations.
It was amazing to have like-minded brothers sticking together.
Talk to a Maori, Tonga, and a Samoan. Next thing you know, we're friends.
And we're the found tribe.
This is the summer in the winter, and it's no pity. What's up? Sunset from the snow. No, I don't think so. I'm feeling cold in my summer clothes.
What does that mean, summer in the winter?
Well, basically, summer in the winter meaning summer, that tropical islands, and winter being Aotearoa as it is today, the coldest island in the Pacific.
It was about coming in, as people of the sun and the islands, but migrating to Aotearoa.
The concept of Phil Fuimana said, let's create an album of a journey of a Polynesian man coming from the islands and then how to survive in New Zealand and amongst that time and that era.
If you look back in the whole migration story, you realize our parents were very purposeful in the journey. They had a purpose for their children and they had a vision for their children's children.
I cried a lot when I got here because I didn't know we were coming here to stay. They just said, "I'm coming here for a holiday." Oh, it was a long holiday.
Because the whole concept was about upliftment of Polynesian people.
But we're the baby boom. Had schools, fortunate to go to schools and get education and learn to speak English, spoken language for us to have a communicate.
Don't forget where you come from. Know where you come from to know where you're going. So that was the whole concept of it all.
Quantum leap, anti-clockwise, gaze open my forefathers' eyes to explore shores. For more joy, no warning attached, just a ukulele and a cheap backpack filled with no formal plan of attack.
And we've got to control our immigration. We can't let a flood come here and swamp us and swamp our economy.
In the 90s, nobody spoke about, overstayers or dawn raids or going after and getting, clothes off washing lines. Nobody wanted to speak about that.
That was the reality, though, Dawn raids were a real thing, and for me, I was just too young to know what an overstayer was. I was just a kid.
I had uncles that when they used to get pulled up, got arrested, checked their things, but they weren't overstayers. They were just getting pulled up for just walking the streets.
In our homes, when the cops come through and barging through, and that ideology, it's a trespass to our hearts, it's a trespass to our homes.
I didn't realize that we were just on the run. All that time, we're just going from family member to family member to stay away from immigration. In fact, it got to a point where we even went all the way up north and we ran out of family members to go stay with. But pretty much my lyrics were about that, summer coming into winter.
There's one of my favorite lines of all South Pacific rap music in this song.
Many thanks to you, one man, but a plan is not to stay, but
But the plan is not to stay, but it's to go back.
It's one of the most powerful part that resonated with me in that song, you know, because it's, it gave me permission to go home.
And that one hit me hard. I was like, yeah, true, Soli. We were born here, or we might have come from Samoa, but the actual plan of after you've done all your mahi, you've done, served all your kids, and your kids have got a better education, is to go back home to Samoa and chill in the village.
Every Pacific kid who grew up in our generation, they knew exactly what that meant.
But get the education and the better life to kind of come back home and re-nurture and rebuild the kingdom and the castle that's still there.
My plan is not to be buried here, My plan is to be buried, in my village, next to my grandfather.
I've gone back home.
He's made the start.
I guess the rest of the tribe should be going back home.
Exactly.
Make it a goal to go back to your island. Not for anything. Just go home and feel it and understand, what the islands really mean to us and what our parents left behind to come and find a better future for us.
You've been warned to take your clothes off the washing line, time to swore. You know you should, but now you in my neighborhood. In the neighborhood. Crazy as I sing, we all at different places, the longer that you stay.
Now Lost Tribe. They're a South Auckland hip-hop group who are finding success with their debut single, Summer in the Winter.
And we got number 7 on the New Zealand charts, man. Yeah.
But where did the chaka sort of, I don't know, whatever the beat is, but it's very distinct.
If you look at hip-hop first, hip-hop is like an art form of lifestyle. And for us, we're just Polynesians, and we're just adding our piece of lifestyle into it.
We didn't understand the impact would have been.
When we landed in there, I guess it just proved that there was an audience out there.
And next minute, we were crossing over cultures and creating music with all kinds of Polynesians and groups.
We come through in the mid-90s, and after us in the late 90s, you had the same formula, but it was more refined.
Now, they were a huge inspiration in terms of thinking about the unthinkable or the impossible and still trying to do it.
Being able to put our feet down as not tangata whenua, but as a Samoan MC was a great thing for us, and being able to see other Pacific Islanders, it was something super dope.
This is something that we have been on a journey on for a long time. And, now it's about contributing for us.
And now we're here today of like, man, I'm grateful for everything that we went through, to appreciate what you've gone through in the journey so that you can pass on to your kids so that they can do the same thing.
Hip-hop was a vehicle for us to say what we wanted to say. I feel like we've done that. We continue on with life now in the spaces we are all at, and yeah, it's awesome.
I guess that spirit is still with us, and we want to give that to our children. And
have to pass it on, man, to learn the value and the depth of why it's important to know your heritage, to know your lineage, to know where you come from. Like 2000 was like the last time we kind of like were together, and that's 22 years ago.
Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Too long-ish.
It's us, family, man.
This is us.
Came, playing tickets some couldn't afford. So in search of different shows, jumped off at a wharf. Fresh up boats to a new port. The stowaway, look for cousins up north.
Brown color joining in the fucking rap race. At the starting line, rookie factories from 5 to 5.
Crazy as I seen, we all at different places. The longer that you stay, change your fading faces. Using water to try to wash the brown to pay you like a slaughter. A tool for the future, but remember, never lose the culture. In the future, Aotearoa.
Last destination from streams of Hawaii. Can somebody tell me how migrations of Pacific countries became unhappy on arrival to New Zealand in the 70s? Facing that pace that's been man-made, like that unsurprising core named Dawnray, planting seeds of demons for their distinct taste. Therefore, set pace to the baby boom brown race. Still here today, inheriting the boomer ways that calls upon our voice of today. Whose voice?
Many thanks to you, white man. But the plan is not to stay, but to go back.